To players, two different paths, one golden ball that will define the next decade of football. What you're about to discover will shock you to your core, because everything you think you know about the future of football is about to be completely turned upside down. On one side, we have Vinicius Jr, the Brazilian magician who has already conquered Europe, lifted the Champions League trophy, and terrorized the best defenders in the world. He's 24, in his prime, scoring goals that leave Messi and Ronaldo speechless. Real Madrid built their entire attack around him. Brazil sees him as their next Neymar. The football world already considers him a superstar, but on the other side stands a 17-year-old kid who wasn't even old enough to watch Vinicius' first Champions League final. When it happened, Lamine Yamal, the boy wonder who has done something that has never been achieved in football history, something so incredible that former Ballon d'Or winners are calling it impossible. Something that has Barcelona convinced they have found the next Messi, or maybe someone even better. Here's the terrifying truth that Real Madrid fans don't want to admit. While Vinicius took years to become world-class, Yamal did it in months. While Vinicius needed time to adapt to European football, Yamal was born for it. While Vinicius is reaching his peak, Yamal hasn't even started climbing the mountain. But the most shocking revelation of all, the statistics that prove one of these players is destined to dominate the Ballon d'Or for the next decade, while the other will always be the bridesmaid, never the bride. The numbers don't lie, and what they reveal about this battle will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about football talent. This isn't just a comparison, this is the story of football's future being written right before our eyes. But before we reveal which of these superstars will rule the next generation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is the kind of deep analysis that separates casual fans from true football experts. Full script. Let's start with the elephant in the room, age. Vinicius Jr is 24 years old, which in modern football terms means he's entering his absolute prime. He should be dominating every statistical category, every performance metric, every single aspect of wing play. After all, he has 7 years of professional football experience over a teenager who's barely finished his growth spurt. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. When we break down their performances from the season alone, the numbers tell a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew about. Football development. Goals per game. Vinicius averages 0.6, which is impressive for a winger. Yamal, 0.8 goals per game, and he's doing it while playing fewer minutes per match. Assists per game. Vinicius sits at 0.4. Yamal destroys that with 0.7. But here's the statistic that should terrify every Real Madrid fan. Chances created per game. Vinicius creates 2.1 scoring opportunities every match. Yamal creates 3.4. Think about what that means. A 17-year-old is out-creating, outscoring, and out-assisting a player who's supposed to be in his prime. This isn't a fluke or a purple patch. This is sustained brilliance over an entire season. But statistics only tell part of the story. Let's talk about the moments that define legends. Vinicius' breakthrough moment came in the 2022 Champions League final against Liverpool. He scored the winning goal, lifted the trophy, and announced himself as a world-class player. It was beautiful, it was historic, and it took him 5 years of professional football to get there. Yamal's breakthrough moment, it happened in his first El Clasico appearance at 16 years old. Not only did he not look out of place, he was Barcelona's best player on the pitch. Against Real Madrid, at the Santiago Bernabeu, as a teenager. That's not development, that's pure, otherworldly talent. Let's dig deeper into their playing styles, because this is where the real differences emerge. Vinicius is the classic Brazilian winger, pace, flair, unpredictability. He beats his man with pure speed and skill, gets to the byline, and delivers dangerous crosses. It's effective, it's exciting, and it's won him a Champions League. But Yamal, he's something entirely different. He doesn't just beat his man, he embarrasses them. He doesn't just create chances, he creates impossible chances. Watch his assists this season and you'll see passes that most players wouldn't even attempt, let alone execute perfectly. There's this moment from Barcelona's match against Atletico Madrid that perfectly encapsulates the difference between these. The players. Yamal received the ball in his own half, surrounded by 3 Atletico defenders. Any normal player would have passed it backwards or sideways just to retain possession. Yamal saw Lewandowski making a run 40 yards away and delivered a pass so perfectly weighted, so impossibly precise, that it looked like he had placed it there with his hands. That's not just skill, that's football intelligence at a level we rarely see from players twice his age. Now let's talk about pressure and how these players handle it, because this might be the most important factor in determining who wins the Ballon d'Or. Vinicius has proven he can handle pressure. Champions League finals, World Cup matches, El Clásicos, he's been there and delivered. But he's also had moments where the pressure got to him. Remember the 2020 World Cup? Brazil's golden boy couldn't find his form when his country needed him most. Yamal, on the other hand, seems to thrive under pressure. The bigger the match, the brighter he shines. His performances for Spain at just 17 have been nothing short of phenomenal. He's not just handling the pressure of representing his country, he's embracing it, demanding it, living for those moments when all eyes are on him. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about their ceiling, their potential. For growth. Vinicius is 24. This is basically who he is as a player. He might improve incrementally, he might add a few more goals or assists to his tally. But the explosive development phase of his career is over. What you see now is what you're going to get for the next 5 or 6 years. Yamal is 17. 17. Do you understand what that means? He's producing these incredible numbers, these jaw-dropping performances, and he's not even close to his final form. Professional athletes typically peak between 26 and 28. Yamal has almost a decade of development ahead of him. Imagine Yamal with 10 more years of experience, 10 more years of physical development, 10 more years of tactical understanding. If he's already matching or exceeding Vinicius' numbers now, what's he going to be like when he reaches his prime? Let's look at some historical context, because football has given us clues about how this story ends. When Messi was 17, he was promising, but inconsistent. When Ronaldo was 17, he was raw talent with huge potential. When Neymar was 17, he was tearing up the Brazilian league, but hadn't proven himself in Europe. When Yamal was 17, he was starting for Barcelona and Spain, creating history in every match he plays and making football look effortless against the best defenders in the world. The closest historical comparison to Yamal's impact at such a young age, there isn't one. This is unprecedented territory in modern football. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Ballon d'Or voting process, and what it really takes to win. The Ballon d'Or isn't just about individual statistics, although they matter. It's about narrative, about moments, about being the story that football can't stop talking about. It's about being the player that makes people fall in love with football all over again. Vinicius has the statistics, the trophies, and the respect. He's a fantastic player who deserves to be in the conversation, but does he have the narrative? Does he have that magical quality that makes people stop everything they're doing just to watch him play? Yamal has something that you can't teach, can't coach, and can't replicate: pure football magic. Every touch is poetry, every decision is perfect. Every moment he's on the ball feels like something incredible is about to happen. That's the difference between a very good player and a legend. Let's examine their impact on their respective teams, because this is crucial for Ballon d'Or consideration. Real Madrid without Vinicius is still a great team. They have Bellingham, they have Modric, they have a system that works. Vinicius makes them better, but he doesn't make them what they are. Barcelona without Yamal, they're a completely different team. He's not just a player in their system, he is their system. Everything flows through him. Every attack starts with him. Every moment of magic comes from his boots. At 17, he's already the most important player at one of the biggest clubs in the world. That level of importance, that level of dependence from a team like Barcelona, is something that Ballon d'Or voters notice. But here's the most compelling argument for why Yamal is destined to dominate the Ballon d'Or for the next decade: his mentality. In interviews, Vinicius talks about enjoying his success, about being grateful for what he's achieved. There's nothing wrong with that, but it reveals a player who might be getting comfortable with his current level. Yamal talks differently. He talks about wanting to be the best player in history. He talks about studying Messi's games, about working on his weaknesses, about never being satisfied with his current level. This is a 17-year-old who thinks like a champion and has the talent to back it up. The hunger, the drive, the absolute refusal to accept anything less than perfection. That's What separates Ballon d'Or winners from everyone else? Let's also consider the team trajectories because individual awards often follow team success. Real Madrid is an established powerhouse, but they're aging. Modric is 38. Cruz has retired. Benzema is gone. They're in transition, and while they'll always be competitive, their period of absolute dominance might be coming to an end. Barcelona, with Yamal leading the charge, is just beginning their next golden era. They have the best young talent in world football, a clear playing philosophy, and most importantly, they have a player who can single-handedly change matches at any moment. Over the next decade, which team do you think will win more trophies? Which player do you think will have more iconic moments? The answer should terrify Real Madrid fans. Now let's talk about something that doesn't show up in statistics, but matters enormously, the wow factor. When Vinicius gets the ball, you expect something good might happen. When Yamal gets the ball, you expect magic. There's a difference between being a very good player and being a player who makes people believe in magic again. Yamal has that indefinable quality that makes grown adults act like children when they watch football. He makes people fall in love with the sport all over again. He makes impossible things look routine and routine things look impossible. That's not just talent, that's destiny. Here's a prediction that might sound crazy now, but will seem obvious in 5 years. By the time Yamal turns 22, he'll already have won his first Ballon d'Or. By the time he's 25, he'll have won 3. By the time his career is over, the debate won't be whether he was better than Messi or Ronaldo, but whether anyone will ever be better than him. Vinicius will have a fantastic career. He'll win trophies, score beautiful goals, and be remembered as one of the best Brazilian players of his generation. But he'll also be remembered as the player who could have dominated football if he hadn't had the misfortune of playing at the same time as Lamine Yamal. Because that's what we're witnessing here, the emergence of a player who doesn't just want to be the best in the world, but someone who has the talent, mentality, and opportunity to actually achieve it. The future Ballon d'Or winner isn't Vinicius Jr. It's the teenager who's already making the impossible look easy, who's rewriting the record books before he's old enough to vote, and who's showing the football world that the future doesn't belong to the players we expect, it belongs to the players who exceed every expectation. Lamine Yamal isn't just going to win the Ballon d'Or, he's going to redefine what it means to be the best player in the world.